Hi Aquarius, welcome to your October 2018 general reading. Hope you're doing well. 3-card major arcana reading, then 1 from the swords, 1 from the wands, 1 from the pentacles and 1 from the cups, and then 1 from the wild Kuan Yin oracle. Kuan Yin is the Chinese Buddhist goddess of compassion, and her mantra is Namu Quan Shi Yin Husa. Beautiful, soft, gentle, opening mantra. Anyway, if you like that sort of thing. Right, I'm going to crack straight on. I'm going to give it one more shuffle. And one more cut. Okay, here are your cards, Aquarius. Chariot in reverse, Temperance, the Hanged Man. Okay. Well, we're coming into the reading here. This is not necessarily consecutive. This is not necessarily about time. The energy as we find ourselves in this reading is Chariot in reverse. So something not getting going. Progress, the feeling of progress not being made, the feeling of blockage, the feeling of hindrance, and perhaps just sort of like generalized lack of mojo, Aquarius. Lack of mojo. This card, the middle card, is the block or the drain. And here we have Temperance in the upright. And you think, well, how can the lovely balanced, I've got this, Temperance function as a block or a drain? We'll come back to that. This card, the third card, is the key to power. And here we have the Hangman in the upright. So what this is telling me, Aquarius, is that something that you keep, you're caught in an eddy, in a little eddy out of the flow. But ironically, in order to restart the flow, you're going to have to take yourself out of the flow in a different sort of a way. Okay, so hold on. Now, the Temperance card here functioning as the block or the drain. When the Temperance functions as the block or the drain, what it says to me is that what's in this fluid here is emotional energy, or just emotion. And it's being poured from one cup, one jug to the other, and then she's swapping around and pouring it back in from that one to the other one, and then swapping it round and back one to the other one. And there's a kind of, it's not coming in from anywhere, it's not flowing in from the outside, and it's not flowing out. It's contained within. So I would say that is why there's this feeling of things not moving forward for you. There's some emotional blockage here, Aquarius. There's an emotional blockage here. Not so much a blockage, so I say it's a blockage and then say not so much a blockage. It might as well be a blockage. But what it is something that's feeding into something that's feeding then back to the first thing, that's feeding into something that's feeding back into the first thing. There's something's cancelling itself out inside. And I mean, when emotions kind of get stuck in us like that, it is usually a matter of either fear, anger, or grief. It'll be one or a combination, a cocktail of fear, anger, and grief. Because those are the things that it is the most difficult for us to engage with. And yeah, shit, man, I just see depression here, I'm afraid. I just see depression here, because when we don't engage, when we don't let these things flow through, like electricity passes through things and out the other side in some other form, there's no transformation here. It's self-contained. And in another position, great, but here it's the block or the drain. So it's stuck, feeding back in on itself. And when that happens and we don't engage and let it out, when we don't open ourselves to the source of the fear, anger, and or grief inside, that we don't actually engage with the thing or the person or the event that has created that feeling inside us. So we don't let it in, and we don't express it through tears or admitting to ourselves that we're really, really angry with someone who perhaps, or about something that we perhaps feel uncomfortable about acknowledging that anger, or that we feel grief that we just kind of, for one reason or another, feel we just dare not engage with, or we won't be able to get our lives done. When we block it like that, in whatever way, yeah, because fear makes us feel weak, anger makes us feel guilty, grief makes us feel just hopeless, and we don't want to go there. And when we don't go there, what results is depression. And that's what I'm seeing here in the Chariot in reverse. A state of generalized lack of mojo. And the only way out of that is to engage with whatever is being poured from one jug to the other, and there's no flow through. And the key to power, interestingly, is not some great big kind of ta-da of emotion. It's blinking hangman. So there are two, well, there are multiple elements to all the cards, but the two main elements, well, two of the main elements of the Hangman card is the fact that the Hangman has put himself up here. You know, this is not a bloody ritual hanging. This is choosing comfortably to take yourself out of the flow. You know, he can't engage with normal, like, daily life in the community when he's like got himself strung up like this. So there's a willingness here to be out of the flow of things. And there's also the fact that he's upside down with his eyes open, so he is looking at everything from the other way up. And that's the bit that is really coming through to me in this reading as the key to power. Because, you know, we're already kind of hung up here. I mean, here it's more of a, as I say, a sort of being out of the flow of life around us, and you know, he can't take part in society, in the functioning of society when he's like this. But this is more about emotional being out of the flow. So it's not so much that, it's the fact that it's all being looked at from a completely upended viewpoint. That is the key to power for you. So it's a radical re-examination, but not even perhaps a re-examination. I keep saying things and then saying it's not that. Sorry, not so much a re-examination. I mean, that you know, there might have been a lot of examination going on here. You know, how fruitful it's been is another matter. And we have the Chariot in reverse, but just turning things on their head So if, for example, you know that you always do something at a certain time and you always do it in this sort of a way, and just do something completely different. You know, if you know you always have cereals for breakfast, have fruit salad. If you know that you always read this newspaper, read that one. I mean, these are stupid examples, but a complete turn things on their head, Aquarius. And what more can I say? Turn things on their head. And I'll tell you what, I'll tell you one thing. I mean, this angel of temperance, she's got it with that fluid. I mean, you know, that the laws of physics make that impossible, but there it is, it's happening. She's got it. Yeah, she's not spilling a damn drop as it goes from one cup to the other. However, if you did that with her, by God, you would see that fluid do something else. Things need to be turned on their head. You know, if you wish, that's the key to power, to breaking this stalemate and turning this into this. Would you like it so much? Eh? Turn it on its head, whatever it means to you, but this is concerned with emotion. Right, let's get one from the swords. How interesting, another taking yourself out of the game card. Four of Swords. Right, I'm just going to put that down there. Do you know the phrase that just came to my mind? Play dead. Play dead, Aquarius. I'm going to keep going and we'll see how that comes through. Okay, we've got the King of Wands. Fantastic. Very pleased to see him. I'm going to lay him down. Wow. Nine of Pentacles. Wow, 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 wow. You have superb inner resources, Aquarius. Absolutely superb. But your emotions are blocked. Interesting. Seven of Cups. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. What I'm getting from this, how these feed in to the key to power as the Hangman. You may be known, Aquarius, for doing certain things, for being a certain way, for like manifesting in the world in a certain way, your way, as you. But what I'm getting from this is this very, very strong message here of playing dead, turning things on their head and playing dead. So, and I don't mean anything to do with actual death, don't worry. But not turning up as you usually would. Not turning up as people would necessarily expect you to, or have come to expect you. Not behaving as people have come to expect you to behave. You know, perhaps where you would normally be the life and soul of the party, just don't be. Perhaps where normally you would make sure you were all suited and booted and coiffed and made up before you go out, just go out without all that. There's a different way of moving here. However, what's inside you, King of Wands, Nine of Pentacles, is very, very strong in its core. Very, very strong. And you know, perhaps there's a fear that if you do this, turn everything on its head, don't show up the way that you've become accustomed to showing up and that people expect you to and perhaps rely on you to, and you kind of play dead in that respect, be something, manifest as something that you don't usually do, that you will somehow cease to be the person you are. And King of Wands and Nine of Pentacles here is telling me that that is not going to happen. That's an unfounded fear. Now, I'm actually getting a really good feeling from this Seven of Cups, because I think during this period of Hangman and looking at things from a completely different perspective and communicating with the outside world in a very different way. You don't have to take every call. So I'll put it that way. You don't have to answer every email. In doing that, there is a variety of emotional factors to be kind of looked at and considered and I would say dipped into from this. This is experimentation. This is emotional experimentation. And you know, the Four of Swords here is telling me that this is a very kind of personal thing. And yeah, King of Wands and Ten of Pentacles, sorry, Nine of Pentacles as well. You know, this is something that you can only do on your own, and just try out being in the world in a different way. And I mean, the aim of this, in the context of this reading, would be to get this Chariot turned over to the upright so that things can move forward again. But I think until you break the deadlock, the feeding back into itself, the feedback loop, the emotional feedback loop, it's going to be difficult to get this Chariot turned over. Because, you know, in a sense, we can never get the old mojo back. We can only get new mojo, Aquarius. But in order to do that, you might have to do a bit of experimentation. And some of it I see here, where am I going? In the essential one, might be a bit kind of spooky, because there's something covered up here. There's all sorts of interesting, you know, we've got property, we've got wealth, we've got wisdom, we've got identity, we've got power. And then we've got this kind of phantom in the middle. What's under that sheet? But that's the key one. There's something there that needs to be engaged with. And like I said earlier about the emotional feedback loop in the Temperance card here, it will be something to do with fear, anger, or grief, or a combination thereof. It can be really, really difficult to engage with that, but there's no worries about kind of cracking up or anything. We've got two very, very strong cards here. You know, King of Wands is absolutely secure on his throne, you know, and has real presence in terms of what he does with that wand. You know, the wand is it's a solid object. You know, this is about work. This is not going to suffer. And you know, Nine of Pentacles, again, this is sort of being secure within your own resources and being secure within the procurement of your own resources. So I don't think there's any problems there. This is an internal matter. There might be some yeah, there's definitely some exploration to be done. Let me put it as neutrally as that. Right, this is the Kuan Yin Oracle. There it is. I just go through. I know it's really random, but I just go through until I see the one that I look at and I say, that's the one. Oh, fantastic. We get grace in full flight. Okay. Right, here she is. Here she is up in the sky. Like, gliding on the jet stream with her magic yaks. There's no fear, there's no hindrance. Oh God, this just reminds me so much of the Nine of Pentacles. You know, this, whatever you do with this, with all this, with this emotional feedback loop here, and this taking time out, playing dead, looking at everything from a different angle, exploring all these what's in these different emotional cups here. Whatever you do about this, you I was going to say you're on solid ground, but look, it's the last thing she's on is solid ground. But she might as well be. She might as well be on solid ground. You know, she's up there with as much security in the high, high, high sky as the likes of you and me are on here on the ground. So there is absolutely nothing to fear, and there is even, I mean, as I've said, she's in the jet stream, she's high up, and when you are high up, what you see gets wider and wider and wider, and as you zoom out, Aquarius, from the micro to the macro, from 2 cups here with the emotion going from one to the other, this closed circuit, to 7 cups here. Who knows what you're going to see down there on the ground? And I mean, it's like in the UK this summer when it was so dry. All these numerous archaeological sites that had never been seen before became apparent in the drought, dried earth of the UK this summer. And the archaeologists had drones up, they were up in planes and bloody everything, and they saw stuff down there that they had never seen before. So just saying, when you go up, the higher you go, the more you see, and it's safe to fly. Right, I'm going to leave it there, Aquarius. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that was interesting, useful, meaningful, whatever. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you again for another reading soon. Have a wonderful October. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.